Now you might wonder why in the world do I keep my recovery kit on the roof? It should be at the back of the car, easy access, and you're correct. Hey everyone, it's Duncan from Overland Journals. I've decided to reconfigure the way I've laid out my roof. Now I don't carry a whole lot of stuff on my roof rack. What I do carry is these two front runner boxes. One's got my recovery kit. The other I just chuck in bits and pieces, things that I don't want to necessarily put on the inside. And then in the front I've got my sand tracks. Now initially I've always had them towards the front, and that's because I wanted to leave a little bit of space towards the middle if I had to put anything else, maybe some firewood, or maybe I decided to throw my swag up here. I've also got these two holders, on universal holders, that is on the sides, which keeps my gas bottles. Now the reason why I didn't have these towards the back is because before I got my long range fuel tank installed, I used to carry jerry cans, and these are the basis of the jerry can holders I had. Now I didn't particularly enjoy carrying jerry cans. One, for safety reasons. Two, what that meant was every time I needed to fill up the tank, I had to come up here and drag this 20-liter can up and down. But that's what it was at that time. But since I got the long range tank, these are pretty redundant. Initially I thought of removing these, and because I don't need them anymore, but then again I thought maybe perhaps I'll keep them up here. Who knows, I might do a trip where even the long range tanks are not enough, so maybe, so kind of like for future use. So I'm still working within that space. So the initial idea was, had I removed these two bases where the jerry can holders go in, I would have moved both these boxes to the back and keeping the weight evenly distributed, and at the same time it's easy access for me. Now, since I'm not removing the two base plates for the jerry can holders, I'm going to move one of these boxes to the space that's available here. So the heavier of the two boxes is the one that I have my recovery gear in, and that'll sit smack in the middle, so the weight is perfectly in the middle. And then the second box here, I'm going to kind of put it across here. It's not a very heavy box. I usually chuck in dirty stuff in here. And then the sand tracks, which are 4 sand tracks I've got, and they're all stacked on each other. I'm going to split them into 2 and keep them as 2 separate pairs. Now the whole idea of doing this, apart from the convenience factor, is that when they're right smack in the front, I feel, now if you feel otherwise, please do share in the comments below, but I feel that by having it up there, it creates a lot more of a wind drag than it should. Now it's anything you put on a roof rack, and the roof rack alone is a wind drag, and that's going to eat into your fuel consumption and all that, and you can't avoid that. And when you travel overland and you need to carry stuff, then unfortunately you do have to have a roof rack. If you can avoid a roof rack, brilliant, by all means I will recommend it. So the idea is to try and move this to the back, and then try and improve the convenience factor, and at the same time hopefully get a little bit more better aerodynamics. Now how much of aerodynamics you can get out of something that's like a brick is anybody's guess, but let's see how it goes. But another reason for sharing this video with you is the way I have installed these boxes, and I've always talked highly of these front runner boxes, is that they're easy to move around and they're very robust and strong. I can do whatever I want with them. So let's see how this configuration goes. Now to latch them down, to hold them into place, I've used these little rubber tie downs. I will leave links to these in the description below, so that if you are looking to do the same thing, you can find them easily. They are all available online. I did do a review on these front runner boxes some time back. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. More information on these boxes are also available on our website, overland-journals.com. And one of the other things I do like about these boxes, apart from the fact that they're lightweight, strong. It's got these holes on every corner, and I can tie it down using these little tie downs that I have. And all I do is just move it across. And the gap worked out perfectly. It's not something I had planned for, but it just worked out perfectly. And though the lids latch in quite securely, what I do is I also put one of these tie down straps across as a extra added latching, so that it's just peace of mind for me. But the latches that comes with the box, they're pretty good. They hold it tight, but I'm just going extra step further. There you go. So the boxes are in place. I'm pretty pleased with that. And then now to sort out my sand tracks. Now these sand tracks, they do have mountings that you can get as an optional extra, but I didn't bother with that. I wanted something that was quite easy for me to secure, so I went with the same latching tie down straps. They're high tension rubber straps. They're a lot easier to get on and off, so all I do is just put it against the front end of the roof rack and I just strap it down. It's a lot easier. Now you might wonder, why in the world do I keep my recovery kit on the roof? It should be at the back of the car, easy access, and you're correct. Now the reason I keep it up here is for a couple of reasons. One is I don't have any much space left in the 4B. Recovery gear is not something you always access all the time, so I have given more priority to things that I need to access more regularly inside the 4B and in my drawers. Now ideally, when you get to a crossing or where you feel there could be a lot of challenges and you do need a recovery kit, the proactive thing to do is get the appropriate recovery gear out and have it ready with you before you attempt that obstacle, whatever that obstacle may be. And that's what I do. So whether it's a river crossing or whatever, I do that beforehand. So I feel keeping it up here, it's out of the way, gives me more space in the 4B. And secondly, one time, this was many years ago, I did have my recovery gear at the back of the 4B I had at that time, and attempted this river crossing. Complete stupidity, because I did not walk the crossing first to make sure it was doable. I just was too cavalier, crossed it, and I got stuck smack in the middle of this river. Thankfully it wasn't a fast flowing river. And then to get into the recovery kit, again I wasn't pre-prepared. Meant open in the back end of the 4B, and that just let in all the water and flooded the entire inside. So had I had the recovery kit on the roof, access would have been a lot easier. But like I said, this day and age, with all the experience from over the years, I am a lot more proactive. So I get my recovery kit and whatever I may need ready before I attempt any obstacle. So for me, keeping the recovery gear kit on the roof works. And in this second box, I keep stuff like a hose that I carry in case I get an opportunity to fill up the tanks with water. So I carry that in here. That's not something I access all the time. And this is the ground sheet for our swag that stays here because it gets dirty all the time. And then underneath that, I have all these tie downs and extra straps that I carry. So even though these boxes look pretty small, they pack in a good volume of things that you can carry. Okay, so there you have it. Finally, after trying a couple of different configurations, I settled with recovery kit at the back here, the box where I just chuck in stuff here, my 2 gas bottles, only one here and one where I'm sitting right now, and then the sand tracks, I split them up into 2 pairs rather than what it was before, where they were all stacked up, and I've lined them up right in the front here, and that leaves me still enough space to chuck in other stuff like firewood or anything if I needed to. So I'm going to give that a shot and see how it works. And while we're talking about roof racks, some of you might have been watching other channels. There's been a lot of discussion about certain brands of roof racks where the ratings can vary considerably. So just be aware that roof racks, some of them come with 2 ratings: the amount of load it can carry when it's moving, load it can carry while it's stationary, called the static load, and as well as some manufacturers have been giving a rating when it's off-road, that is off the bitumen or sealed roads. So when you're looking for a roof rack, just be aware of that, because when you go into a store or when you're doing your online research and you're looking for a roof rack, they don't particularly tell you all these finer details. It's mostly sales driven, in my opinion, so you've got to do a lot more research beforehand. So be aware of that. And if you would like me to talk more in detail about what the discussions has been going on and about the different ratings, please leave them in the comments below or write to me at duncan@overlandjournals.com, and I'm happy to do a video on that. Yeah, so finally changed the configuration on my roof, and let's see how this goes. So thought I'd share that with you. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscription button and the notification bell, because my channel is all about sharing my experiences as I go along in overlanding with the rest of the community. Thanks for watching.